Hello, baby. RakkuTheEpic here, and we are gonna make miso soup. So we got all our ingredients. We got dashi. We're using dashi powder. This is white miso. This is dried seaweed, and this is black tofu. Just in some water, just vibing. That is until we cut it into pieces. Everything. The first thing we want to do is we want to pair the actual dashi. This bowl is only going to hold it temporarily. First thing we need to do, we need to open this thing up. And since we're making 2 cups of this, we're going to throw in 4 tablespoons of this. Or not tablespoons, teaspoons. I'm gonna I'll be a madman if I put 4 tablespoons in there. This stuff is really strong. It's got a really strong flavor to it. But I like a lot of flavor. Just not too much flavor. It's not like punch you in the face flavor. More like a light slap across the face. That's the kind of flavor I like. And we're going to add 2 cups of water to this. 2 cups of water. Now we're gonna put this around here, make sure everything gets dissolved and stuff. If you just had liquid dashi, you just pour 2 cups of it in here. But I have the powder because it's obviously a very big bag. It comes with way more. And also I couldn't find the liquid dashi, so I just settled for the powdered version. Let's taste this. That's good. So now we got that done. And I think we should just cut up our tofu. And I'm gonna try something here real quick. We first take this tofu out of the water here. It's gonna be kind of fragile. You want to pick it up pretty carefully. And then we're just gonna wrap it in napkins and smush it. Get all the water out. Because if we have water out we have water inside it, then obviously the dashi can't go in there and give it flavor. Nothing in there can go in there and give it flavor, which is why we gotta get the water out. Water must go. I was originally told to not really squeeze it, but good, I'm doing it anyway. I made one where I didn't squeeze it and it actually came out pretty good. Like I made a bowl. Specifically, I made 2 bowls where I didn't squeeze the tofu and it actually came out really good. Wrap it like that. We're gonna squish it. We're gonna squish it. Give it a big old squish. See all that water? We're gonna squish it. See all that water? Look at all that water. Now it'll be a little less fragile, just a little bit. So you can toss it around, it won't break. But like don't mistreat it too bad. I think it's a little more durable now because some of the water is out, but it's not fucking steel or anything like that. So still gotta be a little careful with it. Just a little less careful than you originally had to because it was full of water. We're gonna give it one more squeeze. One more round of squeezing here. Parents and guardians should encourage open communication with teens. Honest and reasonable boundaries should be established. And most importantly, let your child know that they can come to you for help in any circumstance. Easy peasy tofu squeeze. Your kids know the hazards of running away and the dangers of trying to live on the street. Now we have fairly dry tofu. It's not completely dry, it's still got a little bit of water in it. It's mostly dry. Now we're gonna cut this baby up. Coming apart a little bit. You gotta be careful there. Let's come one a little bit. This is really easy to cut, by the way. Police surmise that 27-year-old Amos returned home from school, fed his dog since the dog's food bowl was full, and began hanging pictures because they discovered a step stool in the middle of the hall area with a level and hammer. Then we got cubes of tofu. Amos's car and truck were both parked in the driveway. His wallet and driver's license kind of look like cubes. See, that one's a nice cube. Weighs 120 pounds and has blue eyes and brown hair. He has a small scar on his forehead and he wears glasses. Crumbled a little bit. That's not good. Yeah, we are gonna. We need your help to find him. Take our tofu cubes. We're gonna throw them in there for now. We don't need them at the moment. 23-year-old Wallace Richards has not been seen since November 10th, 2005, after he dropped off a friend at her job on Kearny Street in San Francisco. Wallace was driving a Friend's 2002 Mercedes-Benz. Now we got our tofu all sorted. Wallace was then going to pick up the friend at 7:30 from work. He never showed up. The car was found 5 days later. I guess I can throw that liquid out now. No obvious signs of foul play. Tofu juice. We got our dashi and we got our tofu. Guess we'll use this to hold our seaweed. We're gonna need a different knife for this because this seaweed is actually really hard to cut. Extra thick. Extra hard. Apparently the bag is extra hard to open. But not really though. We don't need all that tofu. We don't need all that seaweed, just a little bit. We're gonna like cut this in half, and then we're gonna use this bit over here. We don't need that much. Once we cut it up, it's gonna be a lot. Maybe a lot. We're gonna leave this bag open. We're gonna stuff most of this bag in. We're gonna. Actually, I don't even think we'll need to cut it because we can just like snap it. It's hard to cut, but it's not that hard to snap. We'll just take some of these parent pieces over here. These are good to eat just by themselves. Like I said, they kind of taste like beef jerky. Like that. We're going to put this bit back in the bag. We have that to work with. And all of it. Well, this seaweed is so good. I could eat it just by itself. It's had salty though. Just gonna break this up. Or you could cut it. This is, let's fold those fingers in so we don't cut ourselves. This has a serrated edge so I can cut this a little easier. The chef knife can't cut it at all. I'm going to throw some of these bits and bobs, odds and ends in here. We got smaller pieces to break into even smaller pieces. Make sure they're all a whole bunch of different pieces. So a few of those. There we go, we got our seaweed, we got our dashi, we got our tofu. Now it's time to throw everything together in a pot. Alright. So now we got the pot here. We're gonna throw in our dashi. I miscalculated. This is too big a pot for this, but hopefully we can roll with it. And before we bring this to a boil, we're gonna throw in our seaweed. We're not gonna throw in the tofu just yet. Now let that come to a boil. Actually, I might be able to salvage this. 1 minute. So we are back, and we added another 2 cups of dashi. And we're gonna let that come to a boil. We are back, and our soup is now boiling. Looking really nice. Look at all that seaweed. Get off my spoon. And now that it's boiling, we're gonna throw in our tofu. That way it can absorb all the flavor of that dashi in there. But Rakku, I hear you ask, when are we adding the miso? We can't add it while it's boiling piping hot because then it'll ruin the soup. So we're gonna let that tofu cook. Thank you, notification tone. You're killing everybody's ears. Alright, we've been letting this boil for like 5 minutes. Ooh, some of these are starting to break apart a tiny bit. Or are they already broken apart? Let me grab one here. See if it's like cooked or whatever. Ooh, oh yeah. Oh yeah. We're gonna crank off this heat here. Crank off that heat. So, some of this broke up. Ooh. Makes it a little less pretty, but it'll still be real tasty. Some of these cubes broke up here. So now that everything is said and done, add the miso right there, dirt. Now that all the cooking's done, now we're gonna throw in our miso. It should be like 8 teaspoons. Let's see how many I actually have, because I have used up quite a lot of this miso here. It's like white miso in a pouch. So let's see how many we got. You essentially want to add as many teaspoons of miso as you added teaspoons of dashi. For me anyway. For this particular recipe using these particular ingredients. So that's 1. Ooh. I'd say that's 3. That's a big one. We got 4. It's gonna be 5. I can't see this being 8. That's 5. Let's see if we can get out the rest of it, like get out all that miso. Got 6. Can we get 7? Like I said, I cannot see this being 8. Come on. This is more like 6.5 right now. Oh, 7. We'll call that 7. This miso is tapped out. It's tapped out. No more miso. We were able to get 7. Close enough, I guess. So now we're gonna take that, stir it around. And the color of the whole soup should change. All that miso is now floating around in there. It's all floating around in there. Bringing its flavor to everything in the soup. Now I guess we're gonna probably do a taste test of it. Alright. Get our soup here. Finished product. Let's see how it is. How it tastes. Oh shit. Yup. Yup. I think it got a tiny bit salty because it cooked down a little bit in the pot. Besides that, it's bang. Very bang. Yeah. The seaweed has a little bit of its toughness still there. I'm guessing that's because we actually cooked it. And the tofu absorbed a lot of the flavor and it practically melts in your mouth. You get like this. You have this contrast between the seaweed, which has the slightest bit of toughness, and the tofu, which like basically melts in your mouth. And it is super good. It isn't as pretty as I wanted it to be though, because some of the tofu broke up while it was boiling. We still got some nice cubes in here. Freaking got my spoon and into my mouth. Very good shit. But yeah, if you like me cooking and eating soup, it's 4K. Feel free to like and subscribe.
And I will see you on the next episode of whatever I decide to make. And until then, this is RakkuTheEpic saying goodbye, I guess.